Hi, I'm Symphoneers, and today we're taking a look at this very weird deck that I got, firing at least an acceptable-ish win rate. 54% is of course not spectacular. I mostly wanted to do a video on it because I think it's a very fun and interesting list, and maybe once we finally get some bans on the 29th, as they've kind of announced, maybe then it'll pick up a little bit or be a bit more recommendable for actual, like, climbing and, investing wildcards into and whatever. So this deck is entirely built around the new Samut, but because Samut isn't a black card, we need to actually put effort into leveraging her texture, like getting full value out of her ability. So in order to regularly trigger Samut's passive, we are playing a full playset of Reinforced Ronin. This is the nice kind of simple interaction. Just cast it, every turn if you want to. Anytime it connects, it will draw a card off of Samut. Great. The kind of weirder one is Urabrask's Forge. Because Urabrask's Forge spits out a new Phyrexian Horror with haste every turn, it will also trigger Samut. So those things alone let us trigger Samut really reliably, drawing cards potentially every turn. We are also playing some other haste threats in Kumano Faces Kakazan. The kind of important sequencing thing here to note is that if you play a Kumano on 1, it will flip on turn 3, aka the same turn you can play Samut, so you can draw 2 cards the turn you play Samut if your opponent doesn't block or remove creatures or whatever. So nice little kind of smooth sequencing interaction there. And then we're playing a playset of Bloodthirsty adversaries that can also trigger Samut and occasionally recast Lightning Strikes and Seed of Hopes and stuff. Other kind of weird top-end thing to mention is Tribute to the World Tree. This has nice interactions with pretty much everything we're playing, or like all the creatures and things. Tribute will help Urabrask's Forge come online a bit earlier, or like produce a relevant body, like it'll get it up to being a 3/3 trample haste really quickly. And then once Urabrask's Forge ticks up to 3, instead of getting counters, it will just draw a card with Tribute to the World Tree every turn. So that's a nice, like, value engine that we have in there. Tribute also helps make Samut bigger, which is handy, can outsize some, like, damage-based removal and stuff, potentially, and just makes all of our cheap, kind of trashy haste threats a lot more relevant. Like, Kumano will enter as a 4/4 with the Tribute down, the Ronins will dash in for 4 damage, or they will also be 4/4s. Same thing with the adversaries. We're running a full playset of Seed of Hopes. This and the Experimental Synthesizer, I just realized were actually a pretty good fit for the deck, because we don't really want to play a lot of generic 1-drops or whatever 1-drops or 2-drops that don't really fit with the theme and forward our game plan, so it's kind of better for us to leverage card advantage effects. I think one of the main things people worry about with Seed of Hope is whiffing. Short answer is you don't really need to worry about it that much if you're building your deck properly. Like, if you have 10 or fewer instants and sorceries in your deck, your odds of whiffing are something like 2.7%, 1/36th roughly, if a tenth of your deck is instants and sorceries. If you are only running 5 instants or sorceries, 1 out of 144, which is like 0.7%. Me kind of poorly explaining fractions aside, odds of whiffing are effectively negligible, or at least I think that they're, so minimal. I think where it's good more than offsets the kind of ability for it to whiff and just be a 1-mana heal too. As I kind of briefly said, Experimental Synthesizer, also just very efficient card advantage. Nice thing to note with this is that the Samurai will actually trigger Tribute to the World Tree, so you can get kind of additional card advantage or additional value off of that if you have a Tribute to the World Tree down. We're running a bunch of Immolations because I did want to keep the instants and sorceries in the deck fairly low for Seed of Hope. You could maybe go up to, like, trim out 2 of these and put in 2 Play with Fires or something, but I decided to be, relatively responsible on the Seed of Hope front and, just not do that, run this instead. You can also put it on your own creatures, like if your Kumano flips, get some Tribute to the World Tree counters on it, slap an Immolation on that and hit them for 6. Woo! You're playing an aggro deck. Wee! So that more or less covers all the main cards in the deck. In the mana base, just a pile of duels. We're running 2 Mirexes. Someone in the last video I did with Tribute to the World Tree and Mirex shouted out, like, but wait, doesn't that make Tribute even harder to cast? Not really. Mirex can be the 3rd land you play, so it can actually be fixing for Tribute to the World Tree, and you can kind of play to that effect. And then once you actually have Mirex down, the Mites are great with Tribute. They can trigger it, become 3/3s, or draw you a card or whatever. It just fits, it works so well with Tribute. I'm a big fan of it. Sekenzen also actually works really well with Tribute. If you have a single Tribute to the World Tree down, Sekenzen just spits out 2 haste 3/3s. I should maybe go up Sekenzens in this deck and not just do my, like, normal mana-based templating, but I didn't want to, like, tinker with stuff too much at this point. That more or less covers the deck. If you like the deck, like the video, like, subscribe, etc. Support on YouTube memberships or on Patreon or whatever helps the channel a lot. And yeah, let's get into some actual gameplay. This hand has 1 land, and we are on the draw again, and keep 6. We will drop maybe one of the synthesizers. We could do a land. Why don't we do a land, actually? I say with no, synthesizer. I think either is a fine mulligan thing there. Yeah, we'll just get a tap land out of the way on 1. We'll do a synthesizer on 2 before playing a land. Then probably the tribute. Sure, Seed of Hope's fine. I'll do the synthesizer here though, just cause. Ooh, Ronin. Alright. So let's do the Karplusan Forest. Pay with the Ronin. We ding ourselves, but we ideally get to hit them for more. Or the Ronin eats a counter spell, which, sure, if our 1-drop is eating Make Disappear, not the worst. Better than our Tribute eating the Make Disappear. Let's do... They're just holding up more counter magic, aren't they? We can roll. We're like... If they're going to be boring and hold up counter magic... I say that, and then it's like, well, they might actually not be. Might just be holding up removal. Kaya does stuff. Just generically uptick Kaya, sure. Seed of Hope. Ooh, Samut's good. I like a Samut here.
Fighting the undead
so awkwardly Samut doesn't get card draw for hitting planeswalkers and stuff, but I will take that kind of awkwardness in exchange for just cleanly dealing with the planeswalker. Yeah.
Fare better on my own anyway.
Kind of want to... I guess we'll see if they play out any threats we want to Lightning Strike or anything. No, just to go for the threat on Samut. Sure, that's fine. We'll do a Tribute here. Negate, so I don't get punished for not playing out the Mirex. Cool, cool, cool. We will Seed of Hope a Experimental Synthesizer to hand. Ideally they're running out of counter magic. Ideally we'll play out the Synthesizer once we actually have, like, mana and stuff, and we're on a turn where we haven't made a land drop. So yeah, our opponent's being, playing a very controlling deck, apparently. We're, like, controlling plus token generation or something. Maybe Mondrak, maybe other stuff. One moment. Considering our options, do we blind flip a Synthesizer just for the 2/2 token? Or do we have a fair number of instants and sorceries in the graveyard. I kind of want to leverage, or like use the adversaries for. We'll do this stuff, I think, and do this. Hopefully we just like flip over a land or something, but we'll see. Yeah, we flip over a land, we get to play the land actually. I wasn't tracking our land drops, it's fine. Go for the throw, okay. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. What? Yeah, so, sure, given how things be, I think our move here is just Bloodthirsty Adversary, kick the adversary, probably for a Seed of Hope, honestly, because a Seed of Hope flipping over like an Urabrask's Forge or a Tribute to the World Tree would be pretty good. Lightning Strike to face, I mean, 3 damage to face is 3 damage to face, but it's not super productive. If they do a Make Disappear here, we pay for it because just the kind of card advantage of like having this actually resolve is reasonably worthwhile. It's not stellar, like we would rather get the kicker there, but we do that, then we can Reinforced Ronin and hit them for 4? this turn, unless they have another go for the throat, sure. Bonk, hit the opponent for 2, Ronin back to hand. Ronin, one of my favorite cards in Standard. Rafine's Tower, cycled for the opponent. Seed of Hope, sure. I will do another adversary. It resolves, woo! Okay, so we would like to do a Seed of Hope, I think. Do that. Get some card advantage-y stuff happening. That's really bad. They should not do that. We're 1 land away from just being able to recast and kick it. Don't soul partition your opponent's adversaries. I'm being a little bit harsh maybe, or potentially, but yeah, I do not like that move at all. We'll fire off another Seed of Hope here because we can, and do the Ronin. Kamana faces Kakazan. We'll do this because we hit another 1-drop that kind of stays on the field permanently. Yeah. Wedding announcement, sure, that's very slow, or like very fine on our end. Kaplusan Forest, sure. I think I might, we don't need to do this right away, but we can. I would kind of rather do this adversary, actually. I guess one thing to consider is, oh, we can double kick this adversary, huh? Or I was thinking about, like, that being a potential concern. Sure, why not? I'm feeling funky fresh. Just 2 Seeds of Hopes. I mean, like, we could clear out the token with a lightning bolt or whatever. Experimental Augury. Are they going to proliferate up the wedding announcement? Is that good? I don't like proliferating up the wedding announcement, personally. I think it does it automatically, which is awkward. They do take it, for better or worse. Seed of Hope, Seed of Hope. Lands. Tribute, great. We love to see a tribute here. Swing in with our 5/5. The opponent goes to 10. 22 land deck, by the way. Or like, yeah, we're...
Yeah, I can.
One thing I really like about this deck, as compared to aggro decks with similar curves, is that we can actually play the long game quite effectively thanks to the adversaries, the tributes, just kind of everything working together. So the wedding announcement does flip. Let's get the tribute down first. Let's do Samut. Samut is a 4/5 first strike vigilance haste here, which is great. Assuming it doesn't need a cut down or whatever. And then the Ronin gets to be a 4/4. Also very good for us. Like, yeah. I like how... Samut's maybe my favorite Aftermath card. Frontrunner for one of my favorite cards in Standard. Go for the threat on the adversary, sure. Just because I think its design is excellent. They sink 2 tokens into the Ronin, which we're fine with, especially given that we get to draw a card off of Samut. It's a land, okay. But yeah, just like 3 mana, pile of keywords, and a build-around effect. You love to see it. Our opponent runs out of stuff to do. Good games to the opponent. I will take this hand. It's a little bit awkward and painful with the 2 Karplusan Forests. Do I want a Seed of Hope here, actually? Maybe? Just to... Okay, we hit a land. Yeah, just to get non-painful mana happening. We'll do a Karplusan Forest, we'll get Kumano ticking, and then we will get... I guess we'll do the Ronin here and be aggressive. Be aggressive. We might get the tribute down before the Urabrask's Forges, just because then it will be in place to see the Kumano flip. Or like to put 2 counters on it. So that's something. Inspiring Overseer, sure. If reverse is like Boros Control or something like that, I'm mostly concerned about Farewell. Against like a Boros Control deck. If they're just doing generic Boros value stuff, they might be doing generic Boros value stuff. Then I'm not as concerned. Farewell, of course, is good against this deck because, aside from that card being a mistake, we build a lot of equity through non-creature permanents like Tribute and Forge, and so on. Anyway, Inspiring Overseer, Kamana flips over, we'll just attack through the Overseer. We hit a land drop, so we'll Forge and do the Ronin here, and then we're pretty quickly presenting a very scary board, which is nice, or, very scary. Swinging for 11. Decent. This is why Tribute, even though it's a 3-mana do-nothing, can work pretty well in this deck. Gives us turns like this, like our turn 4, we're swinging for 11. Our opponent apparently agrees that it's a decent board state for us. Good games to the opponent. I will take this hand. Are we doing Synthesizer on 2 or one of the adversaries? Maybe just the adversaries. I'd like to be on the play sometime. We've been on the draw three out of 3 games so far this recording. Yeah, we don't do the Synthesizer on 1 ever just because you can never leverage the Exile draw properly. Okay, we know we curve up to 3, so we will send in an adversary and get that chipping away. Lantern Bearer Skrelv is interesting in a way that I'm a little bit worried about. Because like an invasion of Gobakhan or something? No? Twinblade Geist. There's like some Azorius Tempo vibes that are interesting and just a little bit concerning. I kind of want to Samut here, just because I think we're not going to have much opportunity to leverage Samut past this point. Skrelv doesn't actually give protection, so we'll swing in with both things here. Like the Bloodthirsty Adversary, we'll trade with the guys. The Adversary won't trigger Samut because it entered on the prior turn, but we do draw off of Samut, which is nice. And then from here we can do like Urabrask's Forge. Maybe the Synthesizer. I'm not quite sure what I want to do next turn. I guess we'll wait and see what the opponent is doing. More 1/1s? Okay. They're like an Anthem or something away from this being very scary as is. I'm not super duper worried about their whole situation. Not attacking with the Lantern Bearer in the air, huh? I guess they could be trying to poison me out, which would be something. It'd be kind of weird. I might do the Seed of Hope. The Seed of Hope can just be a little bit less fiddly than the Synthesizer. Okay, we do mill over a Lightning Strike, which is a little bit awkward. But we'll do this. We'll do the Forge. Get that happening. That might seem like a non-bo, the Seed of Hope mill over Lightning Strike thing, but that's one of the things that makes Seed of Hope strong. Seed of Hope will yeet Lightning Strikes and stuff into the graveyard for our Bloodthirsty Adversaries to recast. So even though we don't get the first cast value off of Lightning Strike, we still get some additional card advantage off of Seed of Hope that way, which is one of the many reasons why it is, I think, a better card than people give it credit for. So, I think we're concerned about the opponent getting to 4 mana, just kind of broadly, because of the Wandering Emperor. So we can Bloodthirsty Adversary, Lightning Strike, Skrelv, we can Tribute to the World Tree, send in an adversary. We have some options here. I think I would like to Lightning Strike Skrelv, just to get Skrelv off the field, really. Could shoot a Twinblade Geist. I guess getting the tribute down here would not be the worst because the Twin Blade Geists are good blockers for Urabrask's Forge. Slip out the back. Okay, so they are doing tempo-y stuff. Interesting. Let's swing in with the team. Our, like, horror attack here is not super productive. We're mostly doing that to kind of pressure them, or, like, we give them one unproductive block in order to get more productive blocks elsewhere and force damage through. Yeah, maybe get the tribute down. Although we don't benefit off of the toughness now because I did kind of slow roll it. Virtuoso, yep. That's the thing I was vaguely worried about. Or one of the main things. So we have whiffed a lightning strike. Once it attacks, it won't be useful on blocks. What are we doing here? Let's do a synthesizer first, I think. Just to see what we can grab. Mountain is not super great. This will ding us for 2, which is kind of fine. Let's... Decisions. I also kind of just want to do the adversary. I think maybe we do the tribute here. Because we're not really expecting them to kill us off of the Virtuoso all that quickly. And I think we can set up for an upcoming turn where we're much scarier and we hit them for a lie high. That's also one reason why I like getting tribute down. Sorry, so we can do this, and this is fine. 3 attackers, before this stuff resolves. Oh, sorry, I guess, did I get overexcited and entirely ignore the Skrelv? Yes. Whoops. That's a big awkward punt. You know what, let's just say that this is fine for the moment. I'll shoot a Skrelv here. I think this is good. Or like, we could send that face, take them to 5. I think the reason I favor that is we just do have the rebuy on the lightning strike. Sorry, this is me very much adapting to a punt on live. Live on air or whatever. Yeah, we have the lightning strike to help us force damage next turn. Wow, that I don't know how I feel about that. So we shoot the very good. Very good. This makes me feel better. Take out that Virtuoso there. Then we do a Bloodthirsty Adversary. Oh, don't you love building a deck properly? Building a deck properly and getting the cards you need when you need them. Yeah, we shoot the Geist, we zip-zap face, Urabrask's Forge happens. Yeah, feel a little bit awkward about the punt I did, like just very enthusiastically, but anyway, good games to the opponent. Weird time for card advantage. If we can survive through the turn, we might be okay. 3 damage from this, 3 damage from the Forge, 4 damage from the Ronin. Oh no, we're just dead to... Yeah, we're very dead here. Good games to the opponent. Just, yeah, being on the draw versus mono red. Oof, owie. So I'm versus CovertGoBlue. This'll be interesting, I guess. I have no idea what he's playing, and this hand is okay. We can Seed of Hope on one, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Bloodthirsty onto Hold Up Removal, etc., etc. Just fire this off right away. We grab... I will get a Forest here, actually. We could do the Kamano. We have other plays we're interested in doing. And yeah. Let's hold up the Lightning Strike, actually. Because then we can play the Bloodthirsty Adversary after we play Samut, and if CGB is playing... a deck that I have feelings about. We can hold up the Lightning Strike to kill the Blood Tithe Harvester and do like a Samut thing. Samut, chip in, hit them, draw a card. One of the weak points of Samut is that Samut does die to cut down and is a 3-drop that dies to cut down. This is one of the reasons why I think banning cut down would be cool and good. Geth. Okay. Huh. Interesting. But often, sorry, to finish the cut down thought, often with Samut you will be able to at least hit them and draw a card, which is handy. Does Geth do... No, this stuff is fine. Yeah. Geth is a 3/4. So subsequent turn, we are looking at Tribute. What is Geth doing? Oh, just Reanimator? Okay. Or like... I'm surprised I haven't seen Geth before. Because that is quite fast. I don't know. I mean, we're probably not in great shape. I am curious if we can do something here. Yeah, weird. Did not expect to have to deal with a 6/6 on turn 4 or whatever, or at Italy. Very awkward. Good thing we have, or like a thing we have access to next turn that's potentially useful here is just the Bloodthirsty Adversary rebuy the Lightning Strike. Yeah, we're in probably bad shape, but I don't know. We can, especially with the Tribute down, we can hit CGB for a bunch, so it kind of depends on CGB's ability to do stuff other than this. Fable is happening. Yeah, weird game. Turn 4 Atali in particular is just very awkward for us. Very awkward for most decks, I would imagine, or like that's... I assume this is the point of whatever CGB is doing. Shieldred, Rest of it looks pretty standard aside from the Geth. Atali happens, we will block the Gerblin here. Because Samut does have first strike. Take 6. The Samut's clock is... Or sorry, the Samut's clock. The Atali's clock is actually not super fast, like in a vacuum. I guess CGB maybe has another Shieldred based on the blind attack with the Goblin plus discarding that Shieldred. Or no, he can do the Geth thing again. Right, that's awkward. My turn. Let's do a synthesizer here. This is a way for us to do multiple cards per turn. We don't really have a way to like kill anything with the Lightning Strike, which is awkward. Like just in terms of sizing, not threats that our deck excels at removing. So yeah, I don't know. Kamano. Urabrask's Forge ticks up. We hit for a bit. I was tempted to do the Eliwick strum. Just like, oh, good, isn't it fun that Shieldred punishes you for doing cool things? Oh, come on. On one hand, like we never really had a shot in that game. Silly way to go out though, so I will keep this hand. Early creature, early card advantage, tribute to the world tree that can make a bunch of our stuff better, bit of interaction with immolation. Yeah, just a pretty reasonable hand overall for us. So that's neat. Okay, turn one, we will maybe just run in their face. We don't have... I guess I did just kind of inadvertently delay the tribute to the world tree. That's fine. They took long enough resolving mulligans that I got bored, which is a really, genuinely very bad habit of mine. Or like one of my weakest points as a player of just like getting bored and forgetting lines or sequencing. I'm going to assume that I'm not the only person who does that, of just like the ADD kicks in and you fuck up. Anyway, Carplucent Forest off of the Seed of Hope. Ronin to the face. We will Samut on 3 and then Tribute plus Ronin on 4, which should be pretty good. If we're playing into counterspells and stuff, this could be awkward. Samut just gets to connect, which is cool and good. We draw a Bloodthirsty Adversary off of Samut. So that's neat. And then, yeah, we will do the tribute here and hope this resolves. No counter spells? Okay. I will take it. They have something? Just based off of the, like, timing hang or whatever. Fading Hope or something would be very fine for us here. Iganjo. Sure, they still take 4. Yeah, that shuts off our card advantage, but, like, Ronin is immune to Farewell and other sorcery speed removal. And is just generally pretty good for us, so, you know, could be worse. We have a non-zero amount of stuff that we would like to get back with Bloodthirsty Adversary, so I might just do the Ronin here. Our opponent debating whether or not to counter it, I guess. They could have a Wandering Emperor, of course. Destroy evil on the tribute. Rude. Unkind, uncouth, and quite frankly, uncalled for. We will hit the opponent for 3, they go to 8, and turn. Ronin back to hand, and the Forge Elemental goes away. Bunch of stuff happens at once. Let's do a Seed of Hope first, actually. Because we still have enough mana to kick the adversary. Let's get Sekenzan, maybe. We'll kick the adversary here. Just Lightning Strike face. We could do a Seed of Hope to try to play a longer game, but the opponent's at 8 and we have a Forge ticking. I'm semi-concerned about a Farewell coming up. I just want to get their health down, basically. There's the Wandering Emperor, so we lose the adversary, I would assume.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa.
They go back up to 7 and then back down to 5.
My judgment is final.
Forge Elemental Sacks, their turn. Yeah, Sekenzan, I almost certainly want to just channel out as the little 1/1s. I do wish we'd kept the tribute, or the tribute would be great because then the Sekenzan spirits enter as 3/3s, they zero out their Emperor, which is kind of interesting. Let's do an Immolation on you. Okay, that's awkward.
I've learned much.
Does mean that we know what they have, though.
Let me show you. Remember your training.
Huh. So we can do. This is just fine, isn't it? Or like we do this, we Sekenzan channel for a bunch. They block the Forge because they have to, and they take 4, then the Kamano ping kills them on the subsequent turn. Or like the Kamano ETB. So yeah, like very awkward haha, they got us moment, but they do the down tick there to get up to 3. Right, sorry, I should have thought about that as a potential line. Zip zap. They do this, they block the Forge thing again, they dissipate, okay. So, not great so far. This resolves. The Kamano token, or sorry, the Ronin resolves. Send all this face. Are we good? Yay! Yeah, odd immolation backfired that match. I haven't actually had anyone do that, which looks a little awkward. Doesn't look great in terms of, you know, deck strength or whatever. But in the end, we still get there despite that, so, you know, good games to our opponent. I'm actually climbing with this deck while recording, which is nice. Love it when that happens. Actually, I've been recording for a little while, so why don't we just say, hey, I'm climbing with this deck, yay, and end the video there. Once again, if you like the deck and video and stuff, click all the buttons and things, helps the channel a lot. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the video, and an extra big thank you to the Patreon patrons and YouTube members that help make these videos possible. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.